Hey, this is Corey Lee's Boxing, and we are back with another banger. So please, whatever you guys do, smash that like button and subscribe, man. Definitely subscribe, man. Um, man, where do I start, man? So much to talk about. It's so much in the boxing world right now to talk about, man. Um, you know, you got Ryan Garcia coming off of a devastating, just a master performance against Mario Barrios. Um, which Mario Barrios was coming off of a draw, which we all know against Manny Pacquiao, and that's what the title is. You know what I'm saying? You got both correlate. You know what I mean? You got common opponents for both. Ryan Garcia and Manny Pacquiao both fought Mario Barrios, but there were two different outcomes. So we'll talk about Manny Pacquiao a little bit, man. But I want to talk about Ryan Garcia. Oscar De La Hoya right now is saying that Ryan Garcia is the top guy at 147 pounds. I mean, he is definitely one of the top guys at 147 pounds, especially after that performance he had against Mario Barrios, man. But there's still holes in Ryan Garcia's game plan. That's what Shakur Stevenson is saying. Shakur Stevenson is saying that he still fights the same way he did, like he did in the amateurs. So right now, man, it's gonna be a tough road for Ryan Garcia, because especially if he wants to unify, man. Because if he wants to unify, I even got I got him beaten. Okay, you got Dalton Smith. Dalton Smith versus Ryan Garcia would be a good fight, I think. Smash that like button and subscribe while we break down these fights, man. And potential opponents for Ryan Garcia, because there's a lot of opponents out there for Ryan Garcia, man. I'm letting you guys know that now, man. There's a lot of different opponents out there, and skills pay the bills. And right now, Ryan Garcia is one of those top guys that he's gonna get that check. You know what I mean? He's gonna bring that check as well. So if you fight Ryan Garcia, you're definitely gonna get paid, I think. Especially if it's a top fight. If it's like a Shakur Stevenson versus Ryan Garcia, definitely Shakur Stevenson is gonna get paid. And definitely Ryan Garcia is gonna get paid. But I think they paid Mario. I think they really looked out for him for the belt. I'm not sure their exact purse numbers. Um, but I know Ryan Garcia got, definitely at least a couple mil for that fight. If not, upwards of, 5 to 10 mil for the Mario Barrios fight. It was a pretty big fight. It had pretty good numbers. But Ryan Garcia's a sell. And a lot of top fighters know that. A lot of top fighters know that when you fight Ryan Garcia, it's a top sell. It's a top sell. You're gonna get compensated for that. But as far as Ryan Garcia fighting Shakur Stevenson, man, I just think Ryan Garcia's gotta go into the he's gotta go into the he's gotta go into the bag, man. A lot more than what he's been doing. I would, if I was Ryan Garcia right now, I would bring in probably another trainer. I mean, his dad did an awesome job in the Mario Barrios fight, but that is Mario Barrios. I mean, what did you really show us? We seen Mario Barrios, fight tooth and nail with damn near 50-year-old Manny Pacquiao. You didn't really show us. To me, I mean, that's just, and I'm not trying to, downplay his victory, because he is a world title. He is a world champion now. You know, he's definitely a world champion. I can't take that away from Ryan Garcia. I can't take that away from him. look, man, he's done what a lot of fighters would love to do, and that's become a world champion. So I'm definitely not gonna take that away from him. But at the same time, Mario Barrios, in my eyes, was one of the weaker champions in the division. I'm gonna just keep it funky with you. You know what I'm saying? He was one of the weaker, champions in the division. Um, like I said, you got, Gary Russell, Antoine Russell in the division. You got a bunch of fighters in the division, but you know, as far as Ryan Garcia goes, I don't know. I just feel like there's holes in his and like I said, he should have been. I think and I'm not. Listen, man. Here in the boxing game, you gotta let the fighters know what time it is, man, because they get a lot of yes men around them. And I'm gonna keep it straight. I think Ryan Garcia should have been able to stop Mario Barrios. I mean, I don't know if it almost looked like he possibly could have had some paper on the fight, man. Maybe I don't know. I mean, listen. He said he's bet on himself before, so betting on himself to win by decision was definitely better odds than betting on the knockout. And I know a lot of people live betting on that fight thought he was gonna get the knockout, especially after he got a knockdown in the first round. You know what I mean? You get a knockout, you get a knockdown in the first round of that fight. That's a big step, man. And I thought he would be able to finish, but he wasn't. He wasn't able to finish. He was not able to finish. But yeah, man. So Ryan Garcia, they're talking about Ryan Garcia possibly fighting Shakur Stevenson next. That's a good fight. That's a good fight. That's definitely a good fight. But I got Shakur Stevenson in that fight. So far, from what I've seen out of Ryan Garcia, he's got to come out with a lot more, tools in his arsenal to beat a Shakur Stevenson. He can't. But listen, the power that Ryan Garcia has is real. So I'm not taking anything away from Ryan Garcia. The power that Ryan Garcia has is real. So you gotta respect that. You gotta respect that. He's got the real power. Even the coach, what's his name? Robert Garcia. He said that his coach, Ryan Garcia's dad, called him and was like, we can't keep any sparring. We can't, we can't keep any guys, continuing to spar him. He's knocking these guys out and sending them home. Can you bring us some more guys up here? And Robert Garcia said he knows how hard Ryan Garcia hits because his fighters told him, and that he didn't send him any fighters. I think that's hey, when a fighter is dangerous like Ryan Garcia, and you don't want to send any fighters over there to help train Ryan Garcia for a world title, as your Mexican, compadre or whatever, that shows a lot about how powerful Ryan Garcia is and his power. I think. I just think he's a beast, man. I think Ryan Garcia is a beast. He's a beast, man. He's a beast. And I would love to see Ryan Garcia. Oh, snap. I would love to see Ryan Garcia fight the top guys, man. Will he fight the top guys? That's a big, big what if at this point. because there's a lot of top guys at that division, man. At 147 pounds, man, and you definitely don't. I don't think Ryan Garcia definitely doesn't want to go up to 154. I think those guys at 154 are too big for Ryan Garcia. But from what I'm hearing, he made a pretty good weight cut. He didn't look too drained in my eyes. And, you know, he made a pretty good weight cut. So, you know, I think Ryan Garcia could stay at 147 for a while. Like I said, Ryan Garcia, he looks spectacular, man. He put a lot of those doubters. That Rolly Romero fight it's in our back of our head, but at the same time, it's like boxing as a sport is what the hell have you done for me lately? And lately, Ryan Garcia is on top of the boxing world right now with that Mario Barrios win and the WBC world title, which I know a lot of people are saying that the belts aren't going to mean anything. But, you know, that's a whole nother, I think that'll be a whole nother live stream, man. That'll be a whole nother live stream talking about the Zuffa belts and what they got going on in their agenda. Let me just tell you something right off the top, man. If you guys are listening, smash that like button and subscribe. Zuffa has an agenda too. Turkey Alex Shee has an agenda too. You think they're just going to let you fight for their belt and not get no money from you on the back end? Cut the shit, man. You know they're going to get some type of money, and that's all the sanctioning bodies are doing is getting money off the fighters. You know? But the belts in boxing, you know, they used to mean something. They really used to mean something. And, you know, I still think they mean something right now to the younger fighters that don't really have a name, like a Mayweather, you know, like a Ryan Garcia. Shit, this is Ryan Garcia's first, you know, world title strap that he's actually been able to win. And he's been getting multi-million-dollar deals without a belt. So you don't need a belt in boxing to make big money or to be a big-time superstar. Look at Jake Paul. He's in boxing. He doesn't have a world title strap. So you got to think, man. It's you know, boxing, and at the end of the day, boxing is a business. Boxing is a business. And boxing is pretty much, like I told you guys before, and I'll tell you guys again, what have you done for me lately? And, you know, Ryan Garcia, like I said, he's on top of the world. He's got a whole lot of fights he can make now. And I want to see Ryan Garcia versus the top guys. I think he loses if he fights Shakur Stevenson right now. The only way I think he wins that fight is if he knocks Shakur Stevenson out. As if he knocks him out straight up. He's got to be able to knock Shakur Stevenson out. I don't think he can beat Shakur Stevenson on the scorecards. I just don't see it happening. Shakur Stevenson is far too technical. His jab is going to be in your face repeatedly for the whole fight. Now, Ryan Garcia does have a, you know, he did show us that he has a good jab in the Mario Barrios fight. We didn't see that jab in the Rolly Romero fight. So, I want to see what he can do. I definitely want to see what Ryan Garcia can do at that top level, but you know, who's to say Oscar De La Hoya is going to even let him fight Shakur Stevenson? I think at this point, these promoters are pretty much selling these fighters off to the biggest, paydays, because they're going to get a big payday too by letting their fighters fight guys that they know they're not going to beat. Like if Oscar De La Hoya lets Ryan Garcia fight Shakur Stevenson, it's almost a sell-off. And from what I'm hearing, you know, Oscar De La Hoya only has 2 more fights left with Ryan Garcia. So Listen, man, it's gonna be a big power move by this whole, Turkey Alex Sheik and, Zuffa. And, I think Turkey Alex Sheik had I think he had an agenda when he first got into the boxing game, because he bought, if you guys know, before he even put on a boxing event, he bought that Ring Magazine belt from Oscar De La Hoya. That was the beginning of, what Turkey Alex Sheik would say the end for these boxing promoters and these sanctioning bodies. Turkey Alex Sheik wants to build a boxing model the same exact way, almost identical to the way UFC is built. And to be honest with you guys right now, I'm not sure that's gonna happen. I'm not sure that's gonna actually happen like that. It's so much money in the boxing game. It's so much money into this boxing game, man. And a lot of fighters have been making, and a lot of promoters have been making money, without a whole UFC model. I'm not saying it can't be done, because it definitely can be done. But as far as these top guys fighting these top guys, man, that's definitely gonna have to happen. Um, if these guys fight each other. I mean, if these guys, link up, like Dana White right now is saying, man. Dana White is saying that, he's got all of these dates coming up. He's already had three Zuffa cards in a month. In about a month and a half, he's already had three cards. But it's not how you start the race. It's about how you finish the race. So we've seen this before. We've seen PBC, come in guns blazing and fizzle out. You know what I mean? And fizzle the hell out. So listen, man, we've seen it before, and I would love to see what I want to see what they can do. I want to see what Zuffa plans. But I mean, right now, I just see it as, it's a couple years away from them taking over boxing, if they can take over boxing. Boxing is a huge global sport, but it's a fickle sport. It's a sport that a lot of fight fans, they buy into the hype. If the fight is hyped right and they have a big machine behind them, then it can be marketed right. But look, Turkey Alex Sheik has the money. And he has the funds. He has the money and he has the funds right now. So, that right there alone. That right there alone, y'all, will get him in the door. But as far as the whole Zuffa thing goes, man, they already announced all of their fighters that they have on their Instagram. So if you guys go to Zuffa on the web, on their Instagram page, they're listing off all their fighters that they have, current signed fighters. They got Conor Benn on there already. Conor Benn. A lot of people say that Conor Benn, a lot of people say that. A lot of people say that Conor Benn, he messed up. You know what I mean? That's what they saying. But he got to feed his family. He's got to be able to feed his family. Conor Benn right now, he switched sides. But you know, if Eddie Hearn, from what I'm hearing, allegedly, you know, it was about a 2 million guaranteed on the table. You know, maybe let's just say it was five. You know, allegedly. You know, Turkey Alex Shee and Dana White are offering this dude 15 mil for one freaking fight. What are you gonna do? What the hell are you gonna do? You gonna take that 15 million? Because at the end of the day, man, boxing is a business, and I mean, to be honest with you, Conor Ben was one or two fights away from not even getting a purse like that. Let's just let the facts be what it is. You know, Conor Ben was about one or two fights away from not getting any type of purse remotely close to that 15 mil. So for him to be able to get 15 mil, I think that speaks volumes to his team and to the people he's dealing with. And for him to be able to negotiate that deal and for him to be able to get that type of money, man. A lot of people will say what they will do and what they won't do into that situation. A lot of people that are saying that that he, you know, was disloyal to Eddie Hearn and stuff like that. And I mean, Eddie Hearn is not the most, you know, stand up guy you're gonna ever meet in boxing. I mean, come on, let's just be honest. He's got a lot of shit with him too. You know what I mean? And he's done fighters, from what I've heard, you know, backwards too. You know what I'm saying? But that's just the name of the game. That's the nature of the beast. You know? But I guess Eddie Hearn had got attached to this fighter and thought he was never going to do something like this to his type of fighter. So, but at the end of the day, it can't go down like that. It can and will go down like that. It can and will go down like that, ladies and gentlemen. So Conor Ben is signing to Zuffa, man. It's one of the big superstars from the UK. Especially coming off that win against Chris Eubank Jr., man. He looked spectacular in that fight. He had a motor in that fight that was he was not to be, you know, he almost stopped Chris Eubank Jr., to be honest with you. He almost stopped him. He almost stopped that guy. Almost. You know what I mean? But like I said, right now, in the sport of boxing, man, you got so many different fighters. You know, that are you got so many different fighters, man, that are in the sport of boxing to make money, man. You know, so we all know that. We know that. You know what I mean? If you guys didn't know that, I know that. You know what I mean? So Conor Ben doing that to Eddie Hearn, it wasn't out of the realm of possibility to me to happen. You know what I'm saying? Eddie Hearn is the type of guy that he can switch on you at any time. I feel like I mean, I know he had a different, from what he's saying. That's what his mouth is saying now. He had a different, you know, game plan and different, you know, mindset for Conor Ben. But Conor Ben seen that 15 million and hauled ass. Didn't even, you know, Eddie Hearn was like, "Can I get a phone call? You know, can we talk about this?" And Eddie Hearn was Conor Ben was pretty much, you know, no, you know, straight up. So I would love to see who Conor Ben's fights next, because I definitely think he's a good fighter. But he hasn't even been a world champion yet. So like I said, these fighters are making $15 million plus. You know, the Ryan Garcias, the Conor Benns of the world, and they are not world champions. They are not world champions. They've never been a world champion. Before Ryan Garcia just got this belt, he was making, 10, $15 million in some of these fights. Plus. So, like I said, man, we'll see, moving forward. But I want to talk about this versus Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. This fight is going down, you guys, in the I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a catch weight, probably like 152, 147. But we'll see, but it's supposed to be going down in September. Floyd Mayweather just turned 49 years old. A lot of people are saying Floyd Mayweather is broke. I just don't. We've seen it happen. I just don't see how you go broke. Making that type of money. Some people say that Floyd Mayweather has made over $1 billion in the sport of boxing. We definitely know he had over a $300 million contract with Showtime. I think it was for 6 or 7 fights, and he honored that. He did that. But he's had another multi-million-dollar contract too. That was, $300+ million. So that's about $500 to $600 million right there. And from what I'm hearing, he made 150 to 300 million in that Conor McGregor fight alone. So listen, man, there's a lot of money out there in the sport of boxing right now, especially with Turkey Al-Rashid and them overpaying fighters to join their realm and to join what they got going on. Smash that like button and subscribe, you guys. But there's a lot of different money. It's almost like an inflation in boxing right now. There's a lot of fighters in boxing right now that are making career high paydays that they have never made and they might not ever make again. Conor been to make $15 million for one fight and has never been a world champion. And I think, Shakur Stevenson destroys him, the same way he did, Teofimo Lopez. I'm almost positive Turkey Al-Rashid and Dana White is going to keep Conor Ben away from Shakur Stevenson right now. But yeah, man, right now boxing is wide open, man. But, I guess Turkey Al-Rashid and Dana White seen an opening, so they're going to take it. So you got Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao going down in September. From what I'm hearing, Floyd Mayweather started training already. I don't think he's had a big fight like this in a while. I know he's had a whole bunch of exhibitions. I think that this possibly could be a 10 to 12 rounder. I'm not 100% sure. It could be an exhibition, but from what I'm hearing, this could possibly stick on their record. So, that's big within itself. For it to be able to stick on their record. But, like I said, right now, man, it's a lot going on in the sport of boxing. These two guys right now are big names, and I think that this does big numbers. But there's a lot of rumblings. There's a lot of rumblings about Al Heyman not paying, Floyd Mayweather Jr. Floyd Mayweather Jr. taking everybody to court but Al Heyman allegedly, Steven Espinoza, and the following. And so there's a lot behind that. There's a lot of money and millions that have been lost from what Floyd Mayweather is alleging. And he wants to recoup some of that money. But in the meantime, he's trying to make money. So in the meantime, between time, he's going to make that bag. We all know Floyd Mayweather to make that bag. And that's what he's trying to do now. With fighting Manny Pacquiao in September and possibly fighting Mike Tyson in an exhibition coming up in the next couple months. Maybe April, maybe May, maybe even June. But we got to see. Like I said, there's a lot of big fights for Floyd Mayweather, especially if he can. Because I think that Floyd Mayweather, fighting right now, it's not a coincidence that Terrence Crawford retired. Terrence Crawford was in and around the 147-pound division. And from what I'm hearing, he's retiring. And he said he's retiring. He said he's not coming out of retirement. we all know retirement for Floyd Mayweather is just, he just says that, but he doesn't mean it. We all see that now. He's came back numerous of times. We haven't seen him come back since the Andre Berto fight and fighting to a real fight like that since the Andre Berto fight. But that was in 2015 or 2016, I believe. So that's been almost 10 years since we seen. I mean, we did see him fight Conor McGregor, but at the end of the day, it's Conor McGregor. You're not a you're not a full-time boxer. You're a UFC fighter, that has a lot of different intangibles to your game. So I feel like, him fighting Conor McGregor, that was more of a money grab. Him fighting Manny Pacquiao, he's trying to make this more of a statement. Mind you, Manny Pacquiao's coming off a draw against Mario Barrios, and he probably seen how easy Mario Barrios got destroyed by Ryan Garcia, and he was probably like, man, is Mario Barrios that bad? And how bad is Manny Pacquiao if he got a decision? I mean, a draw decision fighting Mario Barrios. How off and how bad is Manny Pacquiao? I think he's way past his prime. Just to call a spade, I think he's way past his prime. And I just think right now, man, Manny Pacquiao is definitely want more. He's definitely wants money, and so does Floyd Mayweather. So they're gonna be fighting in September, man. I would love to know what you guys think about this fight, man. It is coming up. We got a bunch of months left. So I feel like it's probably about 6 months until they fight or something like that. But they're throwing it out there, man. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this live stream up, man. I hope you guys replay this, man. I touched on some good notes today, man. But I would love to know what you guys think in the comment section, man. Please smash that like button and subscribe, man. And let me know what you guys think, man. Are you guys going to actually buy this Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather fight? And do you guys think that Ryan Garcia is the real deal at 147 pounds, or is he dog food for the rest of the fighters that are at 147 pounds? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Please smash that like button and subscribe. And until next time, you guys, peace.